Yo, what up? It's Yada. I just hit 75 last night, and I wanted to talk about all of the perk choices that I've made, why I think they're strong, and whether you should choose them or not. So, this is my perk tree. Right out the gate, I will say I think some of the strongest perks in the game, in terms of the last perks, the ones that are supposed to be the strongest, I think the strongest is going to be Security Breach. They might nerf this, but in those lockers with the that are called the security breaches, or that you need the security breach perk for, I swear to God, you get a pink or purple, whatever, an epic weapon, or epic. Yeah, you get complex parts basically every single time you open one of those things. It's absolutely insane. You can go into a raid, completely free kit, hit one of these things up, and you can basically get a kit that will carry you out through the whole game, and you can even take it back and then upgrade it or keep whatever you want. Because I feel like 95% of the time I get a purple weapon, a blue weapon, ammo, extra meds. You can get complex gun parts. You can get wolf packs, showstoppers. These things are insane. I would definitely try to pick up this perk first if you can. Everything in the survival tree is fairly good. Obviously, I went with Agile Croucher. I went only with 1 point into this first, and I rushed the in-round crafting. The in-round crafting is super, super handy, especially if you're going to be doing free kits. It'll enable you to craft shield rechargers and bandages in raid, because you only spawn with one shield recharger and 2 bandages when you're doing a free kit. So if you get in-round crafting, all you have to find is 5 fabric, which you can either find just fabric, or you can find, durable cloth, the tarps, and break them down. The jumpsuit. There's a bunch of things that you can break down, and then for the shield rechargers, all you have to do is you can either kill a couple arcs, or you can loot the husks, either the wasp husks or the rocketeer husks. And normally you get at least 1 arc power cell from one of those things, and you just need 5 rubber parts after that, which you can get from various things, recycling or salvaging in raid, and just finding them, and you get shield rechargers, and it's very handy, especially like I said, when you're doing free kits. It's even handy when you're doing a regular, you're bringing your own kit in, a custom kit, because if you ever run out of shield rechargers or bandages in a pinch, you can just craft them right there in the raid. Very, very handy. For the 15, I think you need 15 to get up to here, right? Yeah, you need 15. So I think you go 1, 2, 3 into the round crafting. The revitalizing squat is really good, especially if you get the slip and slide, or just with sliding in general. If you slide, I believe it procs, so you get a bit extra of that stamina regeneration, especially when you're on like maps like Dam, and you have lots of areas where you can slide for a relatively long time period. You can actually regen a lot of stamina in the middle of the slide. In times it could help you out. So what I would do is I would rush in-round crafting first. The 1-1-1. Then probably go into Looter's Instinct a little bit faster. Really helps with the containers when you're looting them, especially with the bigger containers that have more loot in them. It just allows you to reveal the items faster. Then I would go into Agile Croucher and finish it up with Revitalizing Squat. Revitalizing Squat later on is going to help out a lot more, but when you're sliding, I believe that it will proc, and you'll actually get more stam regeneration when sliding. You actually regain a fair bit of stamina, which in some cases can help you out, especially in a fight. Like your main middle perk. Both these are not, they're kind of mid, honestly. Either one of them is good. Personally, I would go Suffer and Silence, specifically because broad shoulders and Looter's Luck, I think, are the strongest in this section. Broad Shoulders just gives you extra maximum carry weight. I'm not sure how much it actually is. For you guys at home, I have it maxed out and I get 40 on a. I believe I get 45 on a free kit. I get 35 on a free kit. But either way, it's still really good. Extra carry weight is extra carry weight. There's a lot of times where, you know, you might be 1 pound off of being overweight or over encumbered. And it might, you know, it might help you. I think it's really good. I like, just out of all of these, it's just, in my opinion, probably one of the better ones. Take deep, 3 deep breaths also sounds pretty good. And Stubborn Mule, but realistically, I think Broad Shoulders and then Looter's Luck are the best. Looter's Luck just pairs really well with the Looter's Instinct. You loot fast, you reveal items faster, and then also there's a chance to reveal 2 items at once. And this chance, it happens all the time. Every other container I search, I basically am revealing 2 items at once, at least one time. It's very strong, especially if you're trying to go fast. And then Traveling Tinker, I mean, it's pretty good. You get extra items that you can craft. It's okay. You can get it if you want. You don't have to. It's not a do or die situation. Realistically, I don't really craft the things that Traveling Tinker gives me, but I took it. And that's mainly because when I wanted to see what was going on with the One Raider's scraps, you should basically find more field crafted items in the in the Raider caches. It says Raider containers. I'm not sure if that means like containers in like Raider camps or whatever, but you know, the Raider caches is fine. You find them every once in a while. But I mean, extra loot's extra loot, so I figured why not pick it up. I really don't notice a difference, but I put points into it. Honestly, Stubborn Mule and take 3 deep breaths probably would have been better. But I mean, here we are, right? And then I'll talk about Security Breach a little bit more. Security Breach, like I said, is probably one of the best, if not the best perk in the game. I think that they're probably going to nerf, not the perk, but they're going to nerf the Security Breach containers. They are completely broken. I said this at the beginning of the video, but I'll say it again. You pretty much find a pink item in 95% of these things. Whether it's a complex part, Volcano, a Bobcat, Patina, and you could even the blue items too. I mean, higher levels too. You get Venator 2s, Osprey 2s, Volcano 2s, Bobcat 2s. I've seen Volcano 3 in there. You get wolf packs. You can get multiple amounts of utility in one Security Breach. I'm not going to do the whole spiel again, but like I said, Security Breach is probably the strongest perk in the game. In my opinion, it is. Now, then we're going to go into the mobility tree. Like I said in the beginning, I wanted to go into the PvP side and move around the map a lot more efficiently. So I went into mobility. Honestly, all of the perks in the bottom are pretty strong. Like, realistically, Sturdy Ankles is the most mid perk in this section. But Sturdy Ankles works really well with the Ready to Roll. Because like when you fall from a distance where you're going to take damage, not all the time, depends on the distance. It's kind of up in the air what the height is for when you can recover roll and when you can't. It has been consistent. Like on Spaceport, if you go to the towers on the outside walls, I can drop from the actual top of the tower down to the wall and roll every single time. But anything more than that, it gets a little hit or miss. It is a timing thing. You have to hit Alt. I think you can hit C as well. Right as you hit the ground, so you do a roll, and you will take no damage, like no fall damage. So Sturdy Angles increases that non-lethal height, and then Ready to Roll increases the window in which you can perform the recovery roll. So these two actually, from my experience, they feel like they work well together. Recovery roll definitely works. You get a way bigger window to actually hit Alt and recovery roll and not take damage. Sturdy Angles, the actual less fall damage portion is super marginal. Super marginal. Like, you fall from the same distance with your friend and he doesn't have this perk, it's gonna be probably like 1% or 2 HP. It's really not that much. But Marathon Runner and Youthful Lungs are probably the strongest in all of these, in all 4 of these, or I guess all 5 of these, if you consider Nimble Climber. I would max these ones out first. I basically have double the stamina bar that I had at the beginning of the game, and everything you do just costs less stamina. So you can sprint for longer, you can vault more, you can jump more, you can dodge roll more. It's just gonna help you out with everything in the game, whether you're fighting bots, people, whether you're just trying to move around the map. So Marathon Runner, Youthful Lungs. Slip and Slide is pretty good, especially if you have Revitalizing Squat already, because like I said, I believe it procs off of when you're sliding. I haven't done any testing on what the difference is between having this perk, not having this perk, but you can take it, you don't have to take it. Realistically, put 5 points in the Marathon Runner, 5 points in the Youthful Lungs. You put what? So that's 1, 11, 4 points in the Sturdy Ankles, you're 15. Go straight into Calming Stroll. Calming Stroll is probably the best out of these both. I just can't. It carry the momentum. It sounds good, but like you're getting 3 dodge rolls per stamina bar, and I don't know. Like, there's not a lot of times where I'm like dodge rolling a lot. And where I need to, like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem that good to me compared to Calming Stroll. I think Calming Stroll is probably better. If you press V on PC, I'm not sure what the console bind is, but you can do a walk, and it makes your character do, like I said, a walk. Or if you crouch, it's like a slow crouch. It's a lot quieter. I use it in PvP a lot, but also just walking around the map. If you're out of stam, you regenerate your stamina so fast, and you can keep moving. So especially in these tight situations when you're like getting chased down or something like that, you put on a walk for like a couple seconds, you'll regain a lot more stamina than if you were just to normal jog. So I would get Calming Stroll, carry the momentum, like I said, kind of mid. Doesn't seem very mid to me, and it has a cooldown. So like you're using a bunch of extra stamina, and then it has a cooldown top, so you can't even do it twice in a row. It just doesn't really seem that good to me. So, like I said, Ready to Roll is really, really good. I would only put 1 point off the wall. I'm not really that much of the parkour type of guy. Like, it's kind of fun flying. It is useful flying off and like catching yourself with ledge and stuff like that, and it is really good. But even that, you don't need wall leap. Like, it's just, I don't see myself actually using this perk that often compared to the ones that I actually chose. So, I mean, if you find yourself doing a lot of the parkour and you're doing a lot of leaping, you can take it. But it just seems like a waste of points to me. Ready to Roll, it's really good. There's a lot of situations where you might want to, either just because you're lazy or because you have to, because you're getting ran down by some other players or some bots. We just have to like jump out of a window, and ready to roll really helps with that recovery roll in the timing window, and it lets you catch a lot more of your falls with the recovery roll and take a lot less damage. It's not gonna. I mean, it's not gonna catch you from. You can't recovery roll from, a height that's like 2 stories high or something like that. You can't jump off departure building on spaceport and expect to roll out of it. You know what I mean? But you can jump out of the tower on spaceport onto the wall and be completely fine if you're good on the timing. And with ready to roll, the timing is actually fairly big. Crawl before you walk. You might not think this one's good, but holy crap. This one is so good. If you play in squads, you basically crawl as fast as you're crouching. It is insane. It is actually hilarious how fast you can crawl out of situations. You will save yourself from getting thirsted if you play in teams so much more if you have crawl before you walk. It is hilarious. I didn't expect it to be this good, but I was very mistaken and I was very surprised. Vigorous Vaulter. I don't even need to say anything about this. I literally don't even need to say anything about this. This perk is probably one of the best perks in the game as well. Especially one of the best perks not in like the big main perks. Vaulting will never get slowed down. Basically, you'll never slow vault ever again. So when you're out of stam, or if you ran out of stam running up to something and your stamina bar is like doing that blinking flashing effect, normally you do a slow vault and you kind of like struggle to get up the wall or over the railing or whatever you're vaulting. But with Vigorous Vaulter, it's never going to happen again. You'll never slow vault ever again. It's going to help you a lot in situations, especially with the bots and PvP. If you're getting shot at and you need to jump over a wall, or you need to jump over a railing, anything, you're going to get out of there a lot quicker. You're going to be able to vault that at full speed and get out, or at least get some cover. And then the second, in my opinion, the second best main perk in the entire game is vaults on vaults on vaults. Vaulting no longer costs stamina, so one, you're never going to slow vault. And on top of that, vaulting no longer costs stamina. So you're just going to be running around the map, and whenever you need to vault, you don't have to go around railings, you don't have to go around walls, save stamina, whatever. Over them. Just go over them. Over them. And I vault so often that I imagine that this perk probably saves me a full stamina bar per stamina bar. Like, it's insane. This perk is insane, especially if you're running around. This is going to allow you to traverse the map way faster than if you were to not have this perk. And then we'll talk about Vault Spring, since the other one on here. Like, Vault... like, who cares? Like, who cares about this? When have you ever vaulted something and wanted to jump afterwards? Like, I just don't see any situation where this would ever be useful. It doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why it's here. If you guys can think of a way or a situation to use this, or how you guys use it, let me know, because it sounds completely fucking useless to me. And then these two, I mean, realistically, I didn't think that these were going to do that much. And then I actually saw a video of someone who did take these, and they did testing, and these basically do nothing. I don't know if they're broken or if they're just super undertuned in terms of like heroic leap gives you like 1% distance or 2% distance. It's so menial, if there is a difference, that there basically is no difference. So I would just avoid these altogether. I wouldn't even think about these unless they come out, unless Embark says something about these perks, Effortless Roll and Heroic Leap. If they say something and say these perks have been broken and we fixed them, they might be good. But like I said, the sprint dodging, I just don't dodge roll that much. Like, typically if I dodge roll, I only dodge roll once because I'm near cover, and I only use it to get back into cover. There's not many. It doesn't give you, I'm pretty sure it doesn't give you any invulnerability frames, and it uses a boatload of stamina. So a lot of the times I just sprint jump, or I do one dodge roll, and that's it. So there's not a lot of times where I'm doing multiple dodge rolls. Anyways, yeah. I'll talk about the conditioning tree a little bit here. I think some of the perks are pretty good, but I mean, in terms of my play style, I'm not really a huge sit down and just loot type of person. I like to PvP and I do like to loot, but I don't want to go around looting every single breach box. I don't want to go around looting every single drawer, filing cabinet, every refrigerator, every car. I realistically don't care. If I need parts, I'll search the areas that I need the parts from, but I'm just not gonna hit every single car every single game. It's just not my play style. So I didn't really think any of these would really work with me. But from reading through these and, playing the game, if you're trying to be a sneaky player and, you're playing solo and you don't really want to meet paths with people in general, it's going to be pretty hard. There's a lot of people that spawn in solos. But I don't know I haven't used this perk. I don't know anyone that uses this perk. So I don't have any testing for any of these in conditioning. But I can see how gentle pressure and proficient prior would be really good for someone who doesn't want to do a lot of the fighting in the game, right? If someone has these perks, let me know in the comments. Let me know if you felt a difference in terms of sound and the time. I use proficient prior in the server slam. But I mean, I think I had 1 point in it, and I don't know. I didn't really find it was that useful, but I only had 1 point into it. So I don't really have concrete evidence that it's good or not. I just think that if you're not going to do a lot of the fighting and you're just going to be doing a lot of loot runs and stuff, these two could be pretty good. Unburdened roll, I mean, it's good, but it just doesn't seem I feel like conditioning has a weird mix of looting and survivability with combat, where you take two looting specific perks and then it gives you a combat perk, and I just don't really think it just doesn't mix very well with me. I don't know, kind of weird. Unburdened roll is pretty cool. It sounds pretty strong. But if you're gonna be a PvPer, why would you spend the 10 or the 2 points in gentle pressure, proficient prior, I guess 3 points, and use the weight? Which this is pretty good, but if you're using a light or medium shield, realistically you don't need it. You're pretty fast in general, especially with Marathon Runner and Youthful Lungs. So it just seems very weird to me to have 2 looting perks and then 1 combat perk. I don't know. Someone tell me in the comments if you use these 3, if it's actually good or not. It looks pretty decent. Like I said, if you don't, I feel like I'm repeating myself. If you don't do fighting, it looks pretty decent, at least these 2. I mean, Blastmore, I feel like this is useless. I'm not really affected that much by explosions. It doesn't really last that long. This one actually sounds pretty good, fight or flight, especially if you are just trying to run away from people and stuff like that and bots. Every time you get hit, you'll just get more stam and you'll get more time to run, and it'll just allow you to create more and more gap between you and whoever you're running from. So fight or flight actually unironically sounds pretty good. And then survivor stamina sounds pretty good. You don't really want, this sounds like a free kit Andy type of vibe. Most of the time you're not really going to be wanting to stay in low HP. But if you're running a free kit and you have to because you ran out of supplies, then it could be good. But I mean, I just don't see anybody really using either of these two more often than, like I said, calming, like the ones I chose: Calming Stroll, Suffer in Silence, and Good as New. I mean, these two are whatever. If people are gonna kill you while you're down, if people are gonna thirst you, they're gonna thirst you. It doesn't it realistically doesn't. It's not gonna affect. These two aren't gonna affect whether people are gonna thirsty or not. I mean, down before determined could be good with crawl before you walk, but it's so far into the tree that it just doesn't seem worth it to spend 15 points into conditioning just to last longer on the ground. Back on your feet, actually, unironically, pretty good, especially if you're free kitting. Conditioning just seems like a very free kit, like, oriented tree. Like, low on supplies, saving your shit, running away, looting. Like, this looks useless. It looks useless. How many times have you meleeed a wasp or even a turret? How many times? Most of the time, the turrets are on walls or ceilings. Does this count if this counts the sentinels? Yeah, okay, maybe. But even that, like, it still sounds completely useless. When are you ever gonna SWAT a wasp? That's insane. That is insane. This is, I mean, it's a funny perk, but I would never take this. It looks, you just can't use it. If you could use it more, if like the wasps and if the turrets were on the ground more often, and the wasps actually came within melee range more often, I would say, yeah, you know what? It's a fun perk, and you might want to take it. I can't even say that. It's horrible. I can't even remember in the last 75 raids I've done, there even being a chance to hit a wasp or a turret with my melee weapon. I've had more opportunities to hit a rocketeer with a melee weapon than a wasp or a turret. That's how ridiculous this perk is. These ones are okay. I mean, the melee is okay. I will say with melee, it does have a cleave effect. So if you get multiple dudes in a corner or just around, you can actually hit all of them in front of you and do damage to both of them or all of them. So you can get some pretty funny clips and actually do a lot of damage if you can manage to get 2 or 3 dudes all in one enclosed space and just start wailing on them. Loaded arms is pretty good. Having less weight from the equipped stuff that you bring just means that you just be able to carry more loot, because the stuff that you bring in will have less of an effect on your actual total weight. Breaching object. I mean, it's okay. Like, I don't have this perk, but I imagine that you probably get basic materials out of breaching stuff, which most of the time I'm swimming in materials. Like, let's see how many materials. Like, right now I am low on materials. I'm low on materials right now, but I mean, like, I have at least 2 lines of chemicals, fabric, rubber, plastic parts. The only thing I'm down on is metal parts right now. But if you level up your scrappy, I have them level 4 right now. I mean, you can see right here, it's insane. I mean, it's 50. You get 50 out of 50 probably every 2 or 3 raids. It's really good. I would recommend leveling up your scrappy if you can, as fast as you can. I only have a level 4 right now, and it's like a lot of the time I can't even redeem the stuff because he just gives me a bunch, like, so much shit. And yeah, I mean, that's all the perks. I've kind of covered all of them. Most of them are good and are viable. These, in my opinion, if you are going to be doing PvPing and you're going to be also looting, I think that these 2 trees are going to be the best. I think that these perks that I've chosen are some of the best. The only things that I would probably change is Traveler's Tinker and 1 Raider Scraps, and I've thrown them in probably Stubborn Mule and 3 Deep Breaths. Other than that, I think I chose these perks effectively for my playstyle. If you play like this, feel free to copy these. Feel free to drop in the comments what perks that you guys have chose and what you guys think are strong, because like I said, I think most of these things are going to be viable. It's going to be like the weapons. I think all of the weapons are viable except the hairpin, but the hairpin is also, I think, a utility weapon, not particularly a weapon to kill arcs and people with. But I think they did a really good job balancing this game and making everything interesting and also viable. You know, there's not a lot of things that are on here that we talked about that are just completely useless. I mean, there are things that are maybe broken. I mean, hopefully broken. I'm calling out heroic leap and effortless roll. I hope that these are just broken and not just insanely undertuned. But anything that you choose is probably going to be a good option. I just recommend that you at least go for security breach first. If you guys enjoyed, if you guys learned something, drop a comment down below, drop a like. I've been playing Ark a fucking shit ton, more than I like to admit. So I thought I'd let you guys know what type of perks and what decisions that I made along the way. I will be posting a little tips and tricks video, hopefully pretty soon here. I want to get, some of the more niche little things out there. I don't want to post like loot runs, dude, to make millions, because if you play the game, you will get better and you will make money. The money really doesn't do that much. I mean, realistically, you should be crafting 90% of your stuff. But I'll stop rambling. That's for another video. Like, comment, subscribe. If you guys liked the video, if you guys learned something in the video, and if you guys have any other perks that I didn't choose in here and you think that they're viable, or if you've chose a perk that may be broken, like heroic leap or effortless roll, or it just doesn't seem like it's that strong, drop that down in the comments. Let everyone know not to get that perk. I hope you guys have a good day, night, morning, wherever you're at, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.